Hi guys and girls, welcome back to Watch the Time. So today I've got my second Invicta in on the channel. I wanted to give them another crack, given the fact the first one was pretty poor. I don't want to sort of say anything out of turn, but it was pretty terrible, to be honest, the watch I received. I know some people weren't happy with the watch I got or the sort of opinion I gave, but for me that's by the by. I'm always going to tell it how it is. I'm always going to say what I saw. And although it was one of the cheaper versions of their pro divers, for it to leave the factory with a bezel that doesn't move and other bits and pieces was, for me, it's unforgivable, to be honest. If it was a Chinese brand AliExpress watch that came like that, everyone would be going, oh my god, that's... So it needs to be the same for any other brand. I'm sorry, but no special treatment, no preferential treatment. It is what it is. So for me, I got the Grand Diver in today. Picked it up on Amazon. They're retailing for about £150, which is about $220, and that was on offer. So I don't know what their recommended retail price is, but with Invictas, I think if someone just puts a number on there, well, any number they fancy on the day, because it's never that retail price. But yeah, I wanted to get this in. The black pearl dial I think is stunning, and like I said, I just wanted to get another Invicta in because I don't want to just be one and done. I want to give them a second chance to try and see what the hype's about, because I know they get a lot of love in Invicta. They also get a lot of hate, but the people that love them really love them, and they've even got Invicta cruises and all sorts, so they've got to be doing something right. So I wanted to try and remedy it just for my own satisfaction, and also see what you guys think of the watch. But yeah, thank you for tuning back in. Your support is much appreciated, and you don't want to look at my ugly mug much longer. So without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys and girls, so this is the watch. As I said in the brief intro, it's the Invicta Grand Diver. This is the obligatory packaging you normally get with Invictas. So you open it up. I've sized it already. Up at the top, they've got a couple of bands that hold in. You've got a register for 1 year warranty. You've got an Invicta members card and just a warranty and probably an instruction manual inside there. Just pop that back in there if I can. There we go. And then the usual, I've taken three links out, excuse me. You've got the tang in there, rubber, and you've got the pillow. Pillow's not too bad actually, one of the better things about the whole watch. But let's get it put to the side. And that's what you've got. I've gone for the sort of black pearl dial, which you'll also see why I called it the black pearl in my thumbnail. But the model number for this one is 16034. Inside it is running a Seiko NH35 movement, but again with the obligatory yellow rotor, very much synonymous with Invicta. Let me see if I can open this, because this thing is not easy to open, guys. There's going to be one thing that comes up later, and it is a friction release. Just to give you a bit better look at the back of the watch. Everything you can see is stainless steel. I'm not even sure what the bezel is. It feels plasticky, to be honest. But yeah, so most components, so that's the case, crown, outer part of the exhibition case, back bracelet, mill clasp, at the very least are all 316L stainless steel. As I say, I'm not certain what the bezel is. Yeah, I would hasten to add the inserts, probably aluminium, but the bezel itself, it does feel like plastic, so just bear that in mind. The case thickness of this watch is 17 millimeters, so a very large watch. The diameter when you go from the 8 to the 2 is 48 millimeters, and when you go from the 9 to the 3, to take into consideration the crown, it does become 52 millimeters. The lug width is 22 millimeters, and the lug to lug, tip to tip of this watch is 55 millimeters, and it becomes 58 at the male end links, just to bear that in mind. As I said, the case back is exhibition, just to give you another look, and it is screwed down. The bezel itself, yeah, it's not too bad. It lines up nicely. It's 120 click. The clicks are quite consistent, and it's not that difficult to grab hold of compared to other watches I've had with that sort of Seamaster style bezel. Yeah, not too bad at all. The crown type is screwed down, and we'll get into that in a bit more detail in a bit, and I will leave a picture up at present. It's screwed down and it's signed. The strap material, as I've already alluded to, is stainless steel. All the gold components you can see, I would hasten to add, they're probably PVD coated. So how long that will last, I couldn't really guarantee you guys. And they are push pins inside, and in the back of the the bracelet, but each link has got Invicta written on it, just in case you forget what the brand is. I'm not sure why they've done that, to be honest. The clasp is partly milled, the outer shell is pressed, the two inner components are milled, and it is friction released. As I said, I'm not going to put this part of the clasp down because it's very difficult to get up. But if you push it, you just pull it and it releases. No pushes on this one. The dial covering that the crystal covering that dial is a mineral crystal. Tested it, no sapphire. It doesn't even say flame fusion anywhere, so I'm guessing it's just a mineral crystal. We do get it on quite a few watches over in the UK, quite common. I've not really had many watches that are flame fusion, to be honest. The water resistance to this watch, I don't know if you can make that out down at the 6, it is 300 meters, and it probably would hold up to sort of good depths, given it's built like a tank. It's a very big boy. So it's 300 meters, 30 atmospheres of water resistance. The weight will appear in the top right hand corner. It is in and around 234 grams, give or take. But let's have a look at the dial in a bit more detail. So what you've got, a minute track going around the edge. Inside that, you've got applied indices everywhere except for the 3 o'clock, obviously, where you have the date window, given the fact it's an NH35 movement. Just below the indices at the 12, you've got the Invicta logo with Invicta script writing, and then below that you've got Grand Diver, just denoting that if the fact it is a Grand Diver. Just above the 6, you've got water resistance, 1,000 feet, 300 meters, and then you've got the scuba sort of looking guy just above that. Yeah, the lume on this is pretty cool, actually, guys. I'll show you a lume shot at the end, so do stay tuned for that. But let's have a look at the movement. As I said, it's an NH35 movement, so it's a hacking hand winding movement. As you unscrew it, it does pop, which is good. And you turn it now, it will hand wind. For the eagle-eyed of you that probably have noticed, you'll see that it jumps up every sort of for the last 2 or 3 seconds of each 5-second increment. Very, very weird. But yeah, you take it all the way out. It should hack. Yep, you take it, you put it into the first position, and you can scroll through the dates. I'll just leave it anywhere really, so leave it there. And you put it back in, you can hand wind it again. But as I said, the movement is a bit of a weird one, really. I'm not seeing that on any Seiko movements, to be honest. I've had quite a few Seiko movements. I've had none of them that do that. So what they've done to this movement, I'm not sure. But yeah, that's the dial, guys. So yeah, that's the dial. As I said, there's a sort of a black pearl sort of texture for the dial itself, and I think that's one of the biggest draws for this watch, to be honest. I need to try and get myself a sort of pearl, black pearl, any sort of pearlescent sort of dial, because I think it looks really cool. But let me pop it on the wrist quickly. As I said, my wrist is just above a 7-inch wrist, for your reference. I've taken 3 links out. I've used all the micro adjustments, so I probably could have done with taking out probably 4 or 5 links, but which is probably to be expected given the fact that it's such a big watch. But yeah, that's what it looks like on me. But yeah, that would now take us on to what I think is pants and Pukka about the watch. For those of you that have watched this channel before, you'll know that I always start with pants, end on a high with Pukka. So starting with pants, I'd go with the case size. It's slated as being 47 on Amazon, but I've measured it and it does weigh in. It measures in at 48 millimeters, not 47. Yeah, a bit big, bit thick. Everything about it is just big. It wouldn't look good on my wrist for certain. I think if it's like you're either going to like big watches or you're not, or you've got a bigger wrist which you can pull it off. But yeah, the case size, it's just unnecessarily big, to be honest. The signage, I've seen less signage on the advertising board, to be honest. You've got Invicta over at the 9 position, at a sort of 1, 2 o'clock and 5 and 6 o'clock, you've got Grand Diver written. You've also got the back of every link signed with Invicta. You've got Invicta on the clasp. God forbid you forget what you're wearing, because you'll remember in a real hurry wearing this watch. So yeah, the signage is just ridiculous. The clasp catch, as I've already alluded to, I've sort of broke my nail yesterday when I was trying to undo it, and yeah, it was a bit of a nightmare. The clasp, the catcher on the clasp is just too stiff. It's just a bit of a problem. The grip on the bezel, as I said, it's not too bad, but it's not easy to turn. Once you get hold of it, you have to sort of push down and turn at the same time. There is a technique to it, which I haven't quite mastered. The QEC issues, yeah, just it arrived. I don't know if you can make this out. There's sort of like a mark. I'll turn it around so you can see. I'll line it up probably because I know that bugs some people, including myself. But if you look just where the 56 mark is, it's got like a scratch on it. It arrived like that, guys. Very, very poor. And yeah, and also the second hand. What that second hand is doing, the hop, skip, and a jump. I'm not really sure, to be honest. The hop, skip, and a jump on a movement is not the way forward for me personally. So yeah, just to surmise, I'd go with the case size, the signage, the clasp catch, the bezel grip, and the QC issues in terms of the scratch on the bezel, and also the movement, as I said, doing a hop, skip, and a jump. The Pukka, in terms of moving on to Pukka now, what I'd say for Pukka is I'll go with the dial, just in terms of that black pearl dial. It is stunning, guys, I've got to say. I'm not going to lie, it's beautiful, and the real reason that I wanted to get this watch in. The Cyclops alignment, I don't know if it's coming out on camera, the Cyclops alignment is bang on, to be honest. It really, really is good. So that's another thing. The lume, as you'll see at the end, the lume on this is amazing, actually. Very, very good. The best I've had on an Invicta, although I've only had a couple of Invictas, so that's not saying much. And the bezel alignment, as you can see, it lines up bang on, 120 click. The bezel lines up very good. So yeah, so to surmise what I think is Pukka, I'll go with the dial in terms of the black pearl. I'll go with the Cyclops with the alignment, the lume in terms of the lume pip and the applied elements on the dial, and the bezel alignment in terms of what I think is Pukka. And again, would I recommend this watch? So this is currently selling on offer, I hasten to add, for £150, which is like $220 odd, and that's a reduced price. And even for that price, no, I wouldn't recommend it. There's too many things wrong with it. It's too big, too cumbersome, and like I said, I broke my nail undoing the clasp. I'm sorry if it's going to cause offence to anybody, because I know there's a lot of people that love Invicta, and that's more power to you. But this is the second one I've had now, and neither have I been impressed with. So unless something magical happens, I probably won't be featuring any Invictas on the channel, although I can't predict the future. So yeah, guys, I wouldn't recommend this watch. As I said, there's too many things about it that are wrong, too many QC problems, too many issues. So yeah, it's a no from me. It's a bit of a thumbs down if you ask me. But guys, let me know what you think about this watch and any other watches you may want to see on the channel. And thank you for tuning back in. And as always say, don't forget to like and subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, guys. All the best.